Hey guys, welcome back to the GSL Code A round of 32. We've got OGS Luvsic, otherwise known as OGS J, versus jjakji.
Yeah, J versus jjakji, although there's no J in Luvsic.
Yeah. It's not even Luvsic with a K at the end, it's Love S-I-C. What if it means something different?
I don't know. What is it backwards? Kissful.
Yeah.
I don't think that's...
mean anything,
I don't know. Sometimes players like take their names and put it backwards.
There are these guys I know, like Grobyc. I don't know how you would actually pronounce that, but it's Cyborg backwards.
Oh yeah.
And then there's of course Reckroll and Railcoon. You guys have to think about that. I'm gonna actually make my ID race car, and everyone will think that that's like my real ID, but they don't know there's like a deeper meaning behind it.
What meaning is that?
Race car.
It's backwards.
Yeah.
Race car backwards.
Yes, it is.
Did you ever see the Speed Racer movie?
Yes, I actually really liked that movie.
I did too. You know, a lot of people gave it a lot of flack, but
Dude,
it was crazy
I
and
just want to like give you a hug. I'm like, everyone I talked to hated that movie, but if you were a Speed Racer fan and you looked at how they did that movie, everything just makes sense.
Yeah, it was a lot like the cartoon. They were true to the spirit of the show, which is what more movies need to do.
Yeah.
Like Captain America. We should go see that because it's really good.
Have you seen that yet?
Yeah, I have. It's awesome.
Well, I want to go see it.
Let's go see it.
All right. We're like making plans on air.
That's right. But we have got plans to cast a game for you. It's going to be OGS Luvsic versus jjakji on a team that I suddenly can't remember. That's embarrassing. There's our Zerg Luvsic, our first Zerg we've seen play today. About time. I'm a Terran player, but I like to watch Zergs play as well. Now, Luvsic, he was in Code A last season, only got to the round of 16.
If I remember correctly, he lost to Dream's Hellion. It was like this weird Hellion SCV all-in.
Huh.
I think that's what ended up happening to him.
I actually don't remember that series, so you'll have to inform me.
Well, he just basically pulled a ton of SCVs and Hellions and barely killed him.
Oh, okay.
If you go watch the VOD, you'll see. I'm pretty sure that's how he got taken out.
I see. All right.
This guy's played in a lot of foreign events, a lot of FX Open events as well. And he's shown a lot of good skill. And a lot of Koreans know him. He's pretty popular. Now, this guy, of course, NS Hosa, jjakji, all killed FX Open.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. So he's got a lot of J's in his name. That's obvious. But does he have the skill to stay in GSL? He just qualified. And I'm trying to remember who he beat to get in. I think it was... Who was it that he beat to get into the...
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. I remember
I shouldn't even bring that up.
We cast it. It's like...
I shouldn't even bring up things like that because then we always forget who it
was.
Well,
we cast so many games.
Yeah.
We just can't remember everything.
That's right.
We're not losing our passion. We just...
Listen to the song. It's like syntho choir.
I know. This
the
background. The GSL's music just gets better from every season.
I love it.
The only time I didn't like it was when they did like the Pirates of the Caribbean music. I was like, well, I don't know. That's a little weird.
There was like rap for a little bit too. And I wasn't a big fan of that.
It was like okay.
I'm not a big fan of rap unless it's like MC Hammer or Crisscross, the best rap group ever born. I don't think they're doing anything now though. I think they're too old.
You know what's funny? When Eminem was making it, Eminem the white rapper, he was making it, you know?
I thought you meant it was just funny that he made it.
Well, when he was making it, like getting popular, I hated his music. Now I go back and listen to that, I'm like, this guy's actually really talented.
He's okay.
And some of his newer music, I'm like, what? I kind of like it. Like some of the things he sing about, I'm like, I don't agree with him, but this guy's got talent.
Well,
we're gonna just agree to disagree on this. Is that what's gonna happen?
I don't know. I don't know if I share your feelings about Eminem as I do about Speed Racer. Not Speed Racer, Speed Racer.
Well, you and I both like the Tron Legacy movie. And we both were like Tron fans of the first movie as well.
It's like
that intro just jumped right on us. We were talking about that
stuff. We got played off the stage at the Oscars or something. We have our red Zerg at the left side of GSL Belshear Beach from the team. Old generations. He doesn't look that old to me, though. He is.
OGS Luvsic.
Looks like a pretty young guy. I don't know.
Well, of course, Old Generations was formed with some of the older players. Of course, newer players have joined.
Like Nada. Not this guy, though. He plays for NS Hoso. His first time in the GSL. He is...
NS Hoso jjakji.
jjakji.
First time in the regular season. He has played in the team league quite a bit.
Right. And that
Look
is a
at
very
that
close-up shot of an
Overlord.
Overlord.
That's what Overlords look like, guys.
That's right.
The Overlord's trying to get to the Pepsi ad on the bottom of the screen, but he
That's
can't
right.
reach it.
He sees that guy enjoying Pepsi Next so much, he's like, "Rrr," which means I want to get the Pepsi Next.
I'm kind of sad that they changed the way Overlords sound in StarCraft 2 just a little bit. I like
lot
the
of
old
people are.
sound, man.
There
There were t-shirts about that sound, man.
were like insane space horses back in the day. That's the best way to describe the way an Overlord sounds, I think, is insane space horse.
I think it was Slavic, or you guys know him as Happy's, or he stays in the house with us. He, I think he said that in the Russian version they call Overlords cows.
Yeah, he was telling us about how they call like regular units regular animal names, like Zerglings are dogs, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's in the Chinese version as well. They call
Yeah.
Blue Flame Hellions race cars.
Yeah, they actually do call them race cars. In case you ever
Oh, I
wondering
like
about that
this.
mystery.
Look at this. He's checking for the
Ooh.
barracks. It's not there yet, but it is going to be there. This is the coolest way to
Oh.
2-Rex. If you guys think, you want to be like a hipster and you're like, oh, I want to do like a different kind of 2-Rex. I don't want to do the 2-Rex wall off.
Right.
You do this do this 2-Rex. It's getting more popular though. So if you're a real hipster, you can only do it a little bit. But then you're going to have to stop doing it once it gets mainstream. Look at this though. Luvsic knows this is mainstream. He has no idea this is there, but he is
So
checking so
smart.
hardcore.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, but he doesn't see it.
You know, you got to give him points for trying, though. That was awesome.
He is, he's going to be under a lot of stress, though, when these units get to his base.
Yeah, I think so, especially now that he doesn't think he's being 2-Rex. That's a huge, huge deal.
Well, one thing that Luvsic has going for him is that there is a Scantipede outside the natural, and that's actually going to make bunkering a little bit more difficult.
And they are good luck. Scantipedes are good luck, of course.
Yes, they are.
And the bunker is very, very close to the natural. Is the drone going to be able to kill the Marine? Oh, look at that, pulling back the injured drone. Really nice little moves by
But
Luvsic.
the bunker is finishing,
Yeah.
and this bunker is in a really good spot.
This is starting to look a little bit danger here on Danger Days at the GSL.
3 Marines and the bunker now. The Zerglings are out. He can put the SCVs in a place where they can't really be attacked. Zergling's going to try to hit reinforcing Marines, and they see it with the watchtower. They're going to go home.
Yep.
The barracks is going to be lifted here. Well, maybe he hasn't quite lifted yet. I thought he was going to, but he didn't.
All right, those Marines are going to be trying to micro as well as possible, and he's actually microing extremely well.
The Queen targeting the bunker. That's not what you want to do.
Not really, no. I wonder if he's going to lose that hat.
He actually didn't even lift his barracks yet. He could have sent those more Marines forward. He's really nervous about what's happening.
Hatchery at about half-life right now.
I don't think he's going to lose it, but he's going to make a lot of Zerglings. He's going to lose a lot of units.
Yeah, here he comes.
Here they come.
There
SCVs
they go.
on repair. Yeah, and he loses the Queen. Loses a lot of these Zerglings as well here.
Is he? All right. Barely going to save the hatchery, but he did lose the Queen, lost a lot of Zerglings, lost a lot of mining
And he made
time.
a lot of Zerglings. So he's
Yeah.
only at 16 drones to 20 SCVs. The command center's already been started. The barracks has made it home safely.
Such a smart move, putting that barracks on the high ground by the gold like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scantipede just sat and watched. Scantipede doesn't like. He's like really neutral. He doesn't want to help the Terran out, but he doesn't want to help the Zerg out either.
The Scantipedes, despite looking a little bit silly, all right, those Marines are going to be able to chase away the Zerglings, are actually an ancient race of scholars.
Yeah, the Scantipedes actually are so. They sit there, and they think
Yeah.
about what's going on.
They
Like,
observe.
They try to decide whether or not they should intervene. They're like, well, if I intervene here, it could change the course
Oh,
of
man.
history.
Scantipedes are a passive race. They live for peace. That's right.
The
See that
Scantipede just
Scantipede?
looks on as
Yep.
things happen.
That's right. That's what Scantipedes are known for.
They don't want to change the course of history.
Although, once in a while, in millennia past, Scantipedes have risen to the cause to defend their planets when conflicts like this one that we're seeing here get too crazy, They're like, all right, we have to save our planet.
Well, have you noticed the Scantipedes are pretty well spread out?
Yeah, they have good vision over the map.
They
right
do.
now.
They actually watch everything.
Well, I think we've taken that one about as far as we
Well,
can.
I mean, honestly, I'm just, I mean, like one day people may try to capture Scanipedes to use them for vision.
I think they should.
That's when the Scanipedes will rise up.
Yes.
They will take their pitchforks and they will say, "No, you cannot use me. I will not give you vision of the map."
I think a Scantipede carrying a pitchfork would be probably one of the most awesome things you could ever put on a collectible card in a collectible card game ever.
We should make one of those cards.
Should.
All right, so not a whole lot has been going on while we talked about Scantipedes.
No.
You guys have been watching it. The Baneling Nest is going up. It can, of course, it gives him more. It's more of a defensive Baneling Nest. He's not going to be aggressive
absolutely.
with it. And he knows he's behind from here. Blue Flame going out as well. It's going to help him control the map. He created 2 factories. You guys are watching that. So he's basically just going to switch over into Tank Marine after he uses these Hellions to control the map, most likely. And he basically on this map, the key usually for Terran players is to put on aggression early. And then the key point is taking the gold base. When you can hold that, then you can start doing other things. You've got this economy that you can use. You can be very aggressive. Otherwise, you're very worried about counterattacks.
Yeah.
It's a difficult map for Terrans to play on in most cases.
Well, it's kind of like that TVZ we casted on this map the other week. You know, we were kind of talking about how you do need to be a little bit more defensive. Good job finding those Banelings before they did any damage at all.
Yeah, that was really cool. In fact, he was lucky and got them after they had hatched, so he wasn't able to cancel those.
These Marine Blue Flame Hellion pushes are so scary right now in TVZ.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to kite these Banelings all day long with those Hellions.
Yeah. The Zergs haven't really figured out the most efficient way to handle this quite yet.
The Spine Crawlers are quite helpful, that's for sure. The Zerglings...
Oh, he needs to be careful here.
Targeting down those Banelings, and now Luvsic is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that's why the Hellions are so good. Got a nice round, but it didn't even matter. He just needs some micro against these Banelings. Oh, losing a lot of Marines.
That was not the best control there.
No.
That could have ended the game if those Banelings hadn't hit those Marines like that.
Yeah, no kidding. That was, but is it going to be enough? I mean, is he going to be able to survive the next couple minutes? It looks like he is.
When that Spire finishes, everything changes.
Yeah.
Wants to poke at a few more Zerglings, kill some Banelings if he can.
Yep.
Scantipede very worried. The Scantipede's getting low.
Oh.
Scantipede has 2 hit points left.
He does. He was hit by some splash from the Blue Flame.
But he still knows he's not going to intervene.
That's right. He's passive. He turns the other claw. All right. I like that. And I like what jjakji is doing. This is the great thing about having Hellions out. I mean, this may seem kind of basic for me to talk about, but, you know, if you're a new Terran player, you might not know this. Good to get some map control with the Hellions. That's what they're for. You want to make sure you know what's going on the map before the Mutalisks come out.
And jjakji already has turrets in place, so he's got 1 turret in his main. Surprisingly, no turrets at his natural yet, but the Spire isn't done. He's got a decent amount of Marines. Combat shields on the way. He's getting +1. And Siege Mill on the way. So like I was saying, he's just going to switch into Tank Marine. He's not going to make any more Hellions.
Yeah.
Just controlling the map with those, always having the Watchtower, killing Zerglings, forcing Luvsic to make more. Those drones transferring at a very nice timing.
Now, if we take a look at the worker count right now, let me hit the worker count button on your computer there. All right, 56 drones to 51 SCVs, so jjakji has done a pretty good job of staying even in that regard. Hasn't really killed a lot of drones, but he's forced a lot of drones to not be made, which is almost just as good.
This timing attack is going to be really tough to deal with. This is the timing attack that Terrans do when they know the Spire is finishing and their opponent has committed a lot of resources to the Mutas.
I'm wondering if these Banelings getting morphed in down at the bottom of the map are going to do any damage. Here they come, coming into the middle line.
Oh! Not as much as they
right,
could
never
have.
mind.
Did damage that turret a little bit. Which
Here
is
comes the
somewhat
big
significant.
push, though. And looks like he's going to lose a tank there to the Mutalisks.
This attack is so scary when the Spire finishes. If you make 9 Mutas,
Yeah.
that means you might just die. At the very least, he's probably going to lose his 3rd base. The SCV is repairing the siege tank that's on low hit points. I love that.
Yep. Always good to bring some SCVs along. Queen getting taken out. And I think this 3rd is going to go down.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
+1 weapons on those Marines, about to finish.
Oh, there are the Mutas again. Saying hi. And it looks
He's going
like
to catch some reinforcements.
Yeah, I was going to say, Luvsic's going to try to just go and find that.
Targeting down the Banelings. Nice splitting by jjakji.
Yeah.
And now the Marines rejoining. Mutas have to leave. The hatchery goes down, even making turrets and a bunker. I love this by jjakji.
Yep,
There's no reason not to do this.
That force is not going anywhere. This is going to be a pretty hard contain for Luvsic to break.
Luvsic, he lost a lot of Mutas now too. He's like, well, can I even go to the main to harass?
Nope.
There's so many turrets there. He can't do it. There's even bunkers at the natural instead of turrets. That's even better than a turret. It's like a turret on steroids.
That's right. It's like the turrets from single player that have like extra stuff on top.
And
I'm actually playing through single player finally.
yeah, it's a good campaign. I definitely recommend playing it for anyone who hasn't. Even if you're a
inspired
hardcore
me to do
competitive
it.
gamer, play on brutal. It's somewhat of a challenge.
Yeah, it is actually. It's really very much of a challenge.
If you want to get like really challenged, try to get all the achievements. It's really fun.
I don't want that much of a challenge.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if, for those of you guys out there, like, sink in the time.
Drones.
Yeah, these drones are risky drones, but they get away.
Yeah.
Imagine if there had been a Hellion nearby.
Yeah.
He only loses 2 of those drones, so very fortunate. This is a really intense setup we've got here with jjakji. 2 full bunkers, a missile turret, a ton of Marines, 2
more
siege
banelings
tanks.
coming to the natural. And is he going to do any damage? Killing about 3 SCVs again, so not really doing any.
No, not too bad.
Yep. I like that he's trying. You know, it's good to continue to try to put a little bit of pressure on your
Well,
opponent.
he's got to do stuff like that in this case.
Yeah, the worst thing you can do is just kind of sit there, you know?
Is he going to save it?
Yes.
Oh!
No. Yes. No.
Wow.
That was about as close as you can call it.
That actually supply blocks him. Now from here, Luvsic is doing all the right things. He's taking a base that's far away. It's very difficult for jjakji to assault that right now, given that most of his forces elsewhere. He's building up units. He's not engaging that. He's not trying to expand there. And jjakji has committed a lot to that, but he has a secondary force coming through here. He could end up sandwiching the forces of Luvsic. Oh no, he's attacking the rocks at the worst possible moment. That changes everything. The Banelings weren't attacking the Marines, though. They're behind the Zerglings. Nice micro on these Marines, targeting down the Mutas.
Yeah, what are the upgrades on those Marines right now, anyway?
They just have 1-1.
All right.
Rocks going down. Remember, jjakji's main containment force is still set up at the old third base location of J, or Luvsic, whatever you want to call him.
J Luvsic. Dr. J Luvsic.
We had to change his name when he was playing against jjakji. He was like, well, that's just so many J's in his name. I don't know. I don't want to give him that extra confidence boost.
You don't deserve the letter J.
Well, these Mutas are flying into into sensor tower range, but there's not a lot of units back here. He's going to have to pull his units back. He's going to take out this refinery at the very least. Killing a few Marines and SCVs as well, losing nothing.
Yep.
Luvsic is doing this all the right ways.
Yeah, he's really doing his best. And look at that, catching the units on siege. Nice job by Luvsic. He's going to do a ton of damage.
Yeah, and these Mutas may be enough to clean up.
Away.
Nope.
All right.
He thought about committing, but decides to back away. Very smart.
Yeah, I think he left those Mutas in there for just a little bit too long. Didn't necessarily need to lose that many of them, but did a good job of killing everything except for the Marines. Yeah, as long as you can keep killing the tanks, you know, that's the big thing. It's the big thing, Wolf.
It's the big thing.
The big thing.
It's like when Sid gets the rocket in Toy Story, it's the big one.
Yep.
To keep out of reach of children. And then Woody's like listening to all this, just freaking out.
Woody was a little bit too high strung, I thought.
I don't know. Well, hold that thought. Toy Story 3 is a very good movie. For those of you guys who are fans of Toy Story.
Who isn't?
I don't know, there's some people out there, man. I don't know what's wrong with them.
Horrible people.
Toy Story. A movie that's just really hit me hard in my childhood, and when I watched the third film, I just was like, this was so well done.
Yeah. Speaking of well done, that's a well done Mutalisk harassment.
Yeah.
At the main base.
But it was well done until he flew into turrets.
Okay, I didn't see that part. I was too busy watching jjakji push Luvsic across the map.
This is actually a really close game, and interestingly enough, that contain is still set up.
Yeah, you know, he's just not worrying about it. He's like, all right, I can just expand to the gold. I can take the other side of the map.
Well, I kind of wonder if jjakji had just consolidated. Well, hold that thought.
Oh,
whoa! It's like so many Zerglings on that planetary, the SCVs can't even get into repair.
It looks like they get in now, but is it going to be enough? That planetary is going to go down because there's nothing to attack air there, but look at that, the gold base for Luvsic getting taken out as well. And wow, the planetary survives.
But he did lose a lot of SCVs in that engagement.
Yep.
And those Banelings were not used effectively.
No.
Killed a lot of SCVs, but could have done that a little bit differently.
Well, I mean, it's going to kill off the gold. He lost his own gold. Taking a look at the income tab, I think we're going to see that the players are actually going to be about even. Luvsic a little bit ahead because he does still. Well, actually, no, he's still on 2 bases.
Well, that gold or that natural is getting really close to being mined out. And here's what I was talking about. jjakji need to bring the rest of his forces to consolidate them into one group and do a push like this. That'd be a much better choice than what he's been doing with just leaving those units over there. They haven't been doing a whole lot.
Yeah, I think he's got to do that. I mean, he's prevented the third for long enough. Now's the time to actually push in. He's still on even supply, and I mean, even supply in a ZVT is not a bad position to be in. You usually need a bit of a supply advantage for Zerg to just
The
crush
Zerg
Terran.
has a much more mobile army here. He's going to pick off some Marines and then leave.
Yep.
That's what he needs to do. These Marines targeting down the spine crawler at the front. Might get a queen.
Yeah.
Losing that queen would be pretty huge, given that he only has 2 queens. He needs that for injects.
Yeah, now it's just a game of Marine Tank Challenge.
I mean, this game is basically a war of attrition at this point. Neither of these players are really going to take a third base before this game ends.
And does he have enough? Baneling's getting in, getting some decent connects on the Marines, but is it enough?
It just might be. There are a lot of mutas out, 22 of them out, but 42 Marines. The composition for jjakji might just be better.
Yeah, I mean, with getting the Baneling nest, that is absolutely huge. I think jjakji's going to take this game. It's certainly looking like it's gonna be
even though he's down on supply, it's 30 of that supply is in drones.
Yeah. He's going to need to be pretty careful with those Marines. I mean,
the
there's still a ton of
Scantipede
mutas
got
out.
taken out by bounce damage from the muta.
Whoa, dude, there's like real weird, like wriggling guts inside of a Scantipede.
I know, it makes me sad, actually.
I know, it's horrible. So,
look at those drones. The drones are going to try to target the Marines. He's going to try to mineral walk those so that the mutas can do the real damage.
yeah.
But I don't know how well it's going to work because there's a second group of Marines coming in here.
This is actually a really interesting position because there's so many mutas out right now. If he can efficiently kill this,
I don't think he can. There's just too many. The mutas only have +1. Marines at 2-1, and like you're saying, GG.
GG! And there he is, our winner. And that's Hoso jjakji. 1 game up in this best of 3 against OGS Luvsic. And Luvsic actually played pretty well. He just lost his third kind of early. Couldn't really get the momentum going to stay in the game. I think we've got a pretty exciting series on our hands.
That was a very close game, very back and forth. Some tense moments in that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both players did exactly what they needed to do to get back in. And after the weird contain happened, he lost the third hatchery. He knew to expand away from his opponent, stay away from that contain, don't lose any units on it.
Yeah, that was really surprising how he was able to actually keep that contain going outside the third for so long. I mean, that was really well set up by jjakji. And then, I don't know, I'd be interested in watching that game again and see if there were kind of some opportunities that Luvsic had to break that. Because it would have been nice to kind of get rid of that a lot earlier in the game.
Yeah. Well, I would have actually liked to see jjakji abandon it earlier, get his forces into one group, because he always had this army that was almost enough to just crush everything that Luvsic had. But he had this group of 2 full bunkers, 2 siege tanks over there. Could have brought with his army. He even had a few extra Marines outside of that. So it was like basically about 4 bunkers worth full of Marines, like 16 of them over there. If he had brought those with his main army and just tried to do a bigger push earlier, he could have done a lot more damage, I think.
Yeah,
and the Mutalisk count was just like barely enough in some cases, but with those extra Marines in.
Yeah, that game was like teetering on the edge of going towards Luvsic's favor at so many points. The Muta count almost got to that critical mass where it's just impossible to stop once you start cutting off reinforcements.
I think that's the best way to put it. It was basically teetering there.
Yeah, it was really close.
Like 3 extra Mutas in there, and then like you kill the Marines and the game just ends.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very, very close. It's a fine line, and you could even see it in Luvsic's play. He kept going like almost committing. He's like, can I kill these Marines? He's like, just barely not enough. And he backed away, and that actually hurt him a lot.
Yeah, and then, when he made those decisions, he would lose those extra, 3-4 Mutalisks, which would set him a little bit farther behind each time. So it's too bad. I mean, I think we're going to see a lot. Let me start that sentence over again because it wasn't working out too well, Wolf. I think we're going to see a very close game again on a dual site.
Yeah, dual site.
Yep.
Very similar map in some ways, but I think we might see another 2 racks. We'll see.
Yeah, I think so. The game's loading up right now.
Game is loading. We're trying to make sure our intro is good this time. We don't get cut off. It doesn't just pop up.
Who knows? They might just cut us off again.
All right, let's start talking about Speed Racer. Then it'll happen.
The best part was when Racer X jumped upside down and punched a guy who was flying over him in a car.
All right, here we go. Game's starting.